Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy Poole, and I'm the host of The Moment, where we explore and celebrate the necessary transformational process you must go through to achieve a high level of success in the real estate industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited. We are back yet again for The Moment panel number 3, where I bring together some of the best and brightest in the real estate industry to educate, motivate, and inspire you to reach higher and achieve greater. Let's kick this thing off with introductions, starting on our left.
My name is Leah Zamir. I'm a senior loan officer at Guild Mortgage.
Hello, I'm Carla Moreno. I'm a real estate agent with Marketplace Sotheby's International Realty.
Hi, I'm Mason Buckles. I'm a branch manager with Caliber Home Loans.
Hi, I'm Lynn Crane. I am a real estate broker with Keller Williams Bellevue.
Michael Piccolo, Compass Real Estate, Bellevue.
Whitney Pauley. I'm the sales manager at Caliber Issaquah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this today. All you guys look fantastic. Super excited. Leah, first question's for you. All right. You closed just over $14 million in your first year as a loan officer, $28 million your second year, $48 million your third year, $78 million your fourth year, and a whopping $124 million in your fifth year, totaling 317 transactions in the year 2020. Now that would be incredible for anyone or for any team, but you're able to do that with just a 4-person team. The question I have for you is, where did you get the first $14 million in business in your first year, and how have you been able to continue and maintain this aggressive growth rate?
So I'm a big advocate for working smarter and not harder. And when I started in this industry, I was hired on as an assistant. And I told my boss at that time, look, dude, I've been in sales since I was selling Pokemon cards when I was 7. So I'm just going to go out and find my own loans. And he said, okay, do you. And I just kind of searched my my network, and I decided, A, I don't know anything about this industry, and B, I'm going to need clients. So first and foremost, I had just stopped working at corporate AT&T. So I started doing store visits like any sales rep would. And I handed out flyers for first-time homebuyer products. And I used that as a resource to kind of pivot my niche in that company and just be the home lender for AT&T. In addition, I had over 700 friends on Facebook, which I know I'm not an influencer status at that point, but I individually messaged every single person and just let them know I'm new in the industry and I just switched careers and I want to be like a lending professional, and let me know any questions that you might have. It kind of worked 2 ways to really help me. One, it helped me learn the industry, to know what questions were out there. So every time someone would come with me to a question, I would go and like dig and find the best and right answer. So I was learning my industry, at the same time gaining confidence for all of my peers. When they went to go buy a house or refinance a house, I was the last person to have that one-on-one communication with them on it. So they immediately went to me. After that, of my first 14 million, I believe that a bird in the hand is more powerful than 2 in the
Bush.
Yeah, like, what's the word? So I just went hard on marketing. I'm always present in my clients' lives, and I really am very honest. I mean, my father, who's a military man, taught me, if you never lie, you never have to remember anything. So I'm first to tell people if I don't have the best rate or if I can't help them to the best of their ability. I gain a ton of trust. And I'm a big advocate for gratitude as well. Like before I make an agent call or a client call, I just take a breath, and I believe like wholeheartedly I have all this gratitude that somebody would trust me with their money, with their business, with their life. And I remember that in every conversation that I have or try to have. 2020 really kind of flexed on me, and remembering that and bringing that to fruition. So I've gotten even more into meditation and things like that. But I don't know, I just really appreciate the opportunity, and I believe that I do a good job, and I bring that attitude. And then I make sure to remind all my clients who I am all the time, so they know.
I love it. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer. You just killed that answer. Question. The question I would have to ask you is, I have a bunch in my head, but the number one thing that I noticed from you right out of the gate when we first got on the phone is you talk to me like you've known me for a long time. And what sort of came through over the phone, which really got me excited to have her on the show in the first place, which was your confidence. And so where did that confidence come from? Did you already have that confidence? I feel like women that have your level of confidence usually have like big older brothers or something.
I do have an older brother.
See? I know these things.
Honestly, you want to know the real honest story?
Yeah.
I went to a Jewish private school for this is where I literally mark my confidence. I went to a Jewish private school my entire life, and in 7th grade, we only had 8 people in the class, so they shut down. At Jewish private school, is so cool to have a rolly backpack. So I begged my parents for this rolly backpack for like years, and then I got plucked out of private school and dropped into public school, and I had to spend 2 whole years before my parents would buy me a backpack that I could wear on my back. Weird answer, but I was just like, I had to be this like strange, nerdy Jewish kid in this public school with my rolly backpack getting kicked and brutalized and find like my own niche in nature. But in terms of like people, I mean, yeah, I do feel like I've known everyone forever. Everybody's kind of fun and unique, but at the same time, everybody has the same needs in life. Yeah. And that's, I've always been good at sales, but where I feel like the fundamental core of that is that I truly love getting to know people. And I think that people are so exciting. Like even when I travel the world, it's like the most exciting part of going to another country is learning how like an individual lives their life. And so that excitement is what keeps me going every day, let alone in my business.
That's phenomenal. Again, I love that answer because we're kind of the same in that regard, in the sense that I feel like the better you know yourself, the better you know other people. Mm-hmm. And it kind of allows you to become curious about other people. And so you are genuinely engaged in conversation, whether it's a friend, family member, lover, whatever. It just allows you to be much more in the present moment while having that conversation, which leaves that person with a good taste in their mouth. Like, I like, and more importantly, I trust this person.
Yeah. They say that people are interesting if they are interested.
Ooh, money, I love it. Guys, do we have any questions for her?
You mentioned you stay in top of mind a lot of the time, so kind of what ways do you do that with your clients?
I don't believe in like small trinket touches. I know that there's a big push in our industry to have like 36 touches or whatever it is. I think that like really big showing up less frequently but more powerfully is how I stay top of mind. So I give a larger birthday gift every year to my clients. I give a really nice closing gift. Like I use a company called Sackcloth and Ash. They do a blanket and they donate 1 blanket to a homeless person. And it's a beautiful blanket, like $100+ Italian made. And people always have it in their living room. So I feel like they can mention me a lot.
Yeah. Strategic.
I add everybody on Facebook, like my personal Facebook. And I do truly enjoy seeing what they're doing in their lives. They have new babies and things like that. And then I don't know, maybe I eat a lot of carrots because I have a really good memory. I was taught early when I was learning sales that to always remember at least 2 pieces of information about somebody. And so if you can reiterate those when you have a conversation with someone, it's like an instant connection. And they just feel like you cared about them. Not that it's like I'm faking it. I do care about them, but I try and been a stigma and a staple for how I communicate with people.
I do have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
Like, what continues to drive you? Because 11 million is good, 50 million is great, 70 million. But like, what continues to drive you to wake up every morning and say, okay, I want to do better than yesterday?
Thank you for that. Actually, that's something I came to terms with this last year, because I was for a long time feeling like, okay, that's enough. Like I've felt this success and I've enjoyed it. So I just expanded my team. Because I was looking for a way to reinvigorate myself. Kind of, when you master something and you're good at something, it becomes it neutralizes. It becomes
plateau.
Yes, and you go, okay, well, I know how to do this. What else can I learn? But I think a big part of being successful is doing something well and doing something well for a long time. And so I was struggling with that exact thing in 2020. And I thought to myself, like, I'd be fine at this point. But then I decided to hire a couple people, and they're now my driving factor. I'm so excited to make them money and make them successful. And so I really looked outward this last year. And so that's what's currently driving me. And I'm sure that might change years to come.
Love it. Awesome. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Great start already. Carla, you're up next. Big question for you. Carla, you began your career as a real estate agent in late 2018 and immediately closed your first two transactions within the first 30 days. Then you went on to close 33 transactions in your rookie year, which was 2019. Now, as if that wasn't enough, you began developing raw land, acquired 9 rental properties, and successfully flipped 2 homes while still being able to close 40 transactions in 2020. I mean, that's just going. So the question I have for you is, it's my understanding that a big portion of those 40 clients were also investors. Did you set out to focus to serve the investor community, or was that sort of something that developed as your skills and education and sort of passion began to sort of drift in one direction versus another?
It's definitely something that started to develop after I started to learn. And it was, it just happened when I went to this seminar that Thatch Wen was teaching. He's big in the real estate investing community. And it was about the BRRRR method, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. And it just blew my mind. And it was so inspiring to see how much equity you can gain when rehabbing a house, etc. So it was just so inspiring that I learned everything I could about it. So that's how I started in the real estate investing and how I started making connections in that arena. And even what I like is some of my clients are the typical first-time home buyer, and I like to kind of plant that seed about finding that home where they can add value. Especially right now because the market is crazy. People are going $200,000 cash over asking price because a house has nice kitchen and nice bathrooms. And when actually the cost of doing it is not that much. It could be $30,000, $50,000. So I like to kind of coach them into finding that house where they can add square footage or finish a basement or whatever and get that equity. And so that's how I kind of started. And now, actually, one of my first clients that I closed within those 30 days were house hunting now for a property where they can develop land, where they can do an additional dwelling unit. And I have several clients that are now thinking about investing and purchasing their second, third home.
Wow. So what really intrigues me about that is, and I don't know, so I'm asking, is I felt like you walked into a door, looked around, and saw all the fun things you can do, and you said, I'm going to do all of them. Which I think a lot of people do that, but you're good, like really good at all of them, obviously, because you've done so much in a very short period of time. Did you know that you were this capable as a business person? And I guess where did your confidence come from to know that you can develop land, you can buy land raw? That usually takes people a very long time in their career to discover, rather than just buying and selling. I'm going to buy land raw and develop it. Like that's pretty bold.
Well, first of all, kind of like Leah, and my dad would always say, whatever you do, you have to do it right, and you have to be the best at it. And so when I started real estate, I wasn't very confident because a lot of people would ask, like, how many deals have you done? Or how many years in real estate? And I was like, 6 months? So I wanted to learn as much as I could. Yeah. And it's all about being focused and about time blocking.
Right. And
so I just dedicated time to learn about things. And I mean, you can't know it all. And we were just talking about that. Everything is figure outable. There's always a way. It's just getting it done, and you'll learn in the process. And you learn from mistakes, because if you want to get all your ducks aligned in order to do something, you'll miss the opportunity. So it's, I mean, that first land that we bought, it was 3 years ago, and we're barely selling all those homes because we subdivided and
sure.
And it was not as easy as I thought it would be.
Right.
But it's a teamwork, team effort. The family came on board and
yeah.
helped, and now we're more confident about it. But I guess it's
yeah.
just being afraid but still doing it.
See, I love that. I absolutely love that, because everything in my past that I've done that I was very, very excited about or very proud about now, I was very naive to what it was going to take to accomplish it. And then looking back, being more experienced, what I have done the thing knowing how hard and risky it would have been? Probably not. You know what I mean? So I think that's huge to sort of keep that childlike mentality, like it's possible. It is absolutely possible. And then having the people and the resources and of course the intellect to actually pull it off. So I love that. Do you guys have any questions for her?
Yeah, I'd say what's one of the biggest mistakes you've worked through and or learned from?
Oh, I would say the land development.
Yeah.
Yes. We were very lucky because my wife is actually the one that pushed. She's like, hey, there's this land for sale. It's super easy. Let's buy it, subdivide, get a manufactured home dealership license, put mobile homes and sell them. And it seemed so easy that we went for it. And then towards the almost middle of the process, we found out that we had no money to do everything that needed to be done.
Yeah.
But we were just so lucky that the family came on board. And one of my wife's sister is also a real estate agent, and so she took over. I did part of the process when I was done, and I felt like I couldn't go any further.
Wave the flag, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
She came to the rescue, and thanks to that, it was a team
great.
effort. So I would say that was, I wouldn't say mistake, but being naive and thinking
Learning
that it was
opportunity, right?
Yeah, learning opportunity. Yes, and now it's easier that we've done 27 development.
Yeah. That's
in each
incredible.
one.
Yeah.
Wow. I should have included that into your introduction.
I think that also like asking for help.
Yes.
A lot
Yes.
of people get really tucked away and I think that shows weakness, but I think it shows strength.
Yes. Yes.
That is a huge lesson, absolutely, is being willing to say, I know enough to know that I don't know that much.
Yes.
Right.
And being willing to ask people that you know that care about you.
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
huge. Anybody else?
What did
Move
you
right
do
along.
before this?
Whew, many things. I came to the U.S. when I was 18. I was a hostess. Then I opened, I started a medical interpreting agency. Then I owned a bar. And after that, I came back to Seattle. School, I thought I was going to go to medical school. And then I became an agent.
Cool.
I love that, and that makes total sense. Because like the moment I met you, which was last month, you have this like energy. You were just like, bing, happy, I'm here. Let's do this. That's amazing. All right, Mason, my man, you're up. You and your team and your branch had a record-breaking year, and I would imagine that a lot of that success came as a result of the recent refinance boom. What are you and your team doing now to ensure that you not only maintain the massive volume that you're currently doing, but maybe push past that to actually increase the volume that you did last year?
Yeah, I think 2020 provided a lot of challenges, but a lot of opportunities. And where we really focused our effort last year was refining some things that we'd already been doing in terms of our online presence. We shifted our focus from more of a one-on-one and in-person consultative approach to leveraging technology to be able to not only expand our market, but just expand our reach. And with that came, new introductions, new people that we got to partner with, but also just, rapid growth, the ability to scale your business and do so. So within that, we focused very much on how our presence was online and how our presentation was. We wanted to honor the core values of my business, which are honesty, integrity, and transparency, but figure out and crack the code on how to convey that in a screen-to-screen setting. What we've done from there is really focused in on making sure that both my team and my office are extremely organized and allowing them to connect as often as possible without getting too caught up in all the reactive nature that 2020 brought to us. I feel that a big piece of 2020, at least in our industry, was reacting to the constant changes, not only with loan programs changing, clients that were unfortunately experiencing job loss, uncertainty in the market as a whole, you name it, right? We were just kind of always counterpunching to what was going on. So we've really shifted our focus at the end of last year, knowing that we could handle that kind of volatility and figuring out how we could become more proactive in our approach to continue to add value. So, for 2021 and beyond, we've set some big goals. We don't want the market to dictate what we can do and how many people we can serve. Right. We understand that there are things outside of our control, right? I'm a big believer in CIA. What can you control, what can you influence, and what can you accept? And if you understand those parameters and what you're doing, you can typically create a successful strategy. So for us, it's really focused on making sure that we're constantly adding value for our clients, making sure that we're honoring the partnerships and the referrals that we receive, and then figuring out how overall we can shift that experience digitally, but still make it a very positive thing for our clients.
Love that. Love that. You guys are absolutely killing you guys' answers. Now you see why I invited these guys.
A lot of pressure over here.
No, this is great. I love that.
Thank you.
I love everything about that. The big question I would have is there anything specifically in the realm of storytelling when it comes to being on social media, maybe perhaps using picture, maybe perhaps using video, that you think would be beneficial for your audience, meaning your past, current, and future clients to know about you personally or about your team or your branch?
Well, you know, the thing that we've seen, and the studies tell you, right, the modern buyer, they want a wealth of information and resources, but they also want a trusted advisor,
Yes.
right? They want someone to help walk them through the process. And we've focused on that for a number of years. What I've seen, and I don't know about the panel and what they've experienced, was in 2020, that lack of human interaction put people on edge, right? And it really put people in a position where, as adversity would strike, because it's not a perfect process, right? Buying a home is a human thing. It's an organic process, and things will occur. And what we felt was really strong reactions to moments of adversity that in the past would be an easy phone call or a quick check-in kind of thing. So what we've tried to do in our social media and our online presence is not lose sight of the human element, right? Not lose sight of the fact that, you know, we are people as well.
Sure.
Right? Like, we have families, we have
Stuff
lives.
happens.
Like, we can partner together. I'm a big believer in partnership. I talk about that with my clients often. Like, I want to partner with you to accomplish a goal, right? And I try to set that tone because they have a lot of things going on, right? There's a lot of other stressors that go on, and home buying is just a fluid 25, 30-day process. And there will be some adversity outside of what we're doing and potentially inside of what we're doing during that time.
Yeah.
But if we can really partner and keep in mind the fact that we're all just people here,
Sure.
right? We're buying a house, right? We're not creating vaccines. We're not solving a lot of the societal issues that we've dealt with as a country. We're just simply buying a home.
Yeah.
Let's not lose sight of that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we try to convey in our online presence as well. And we look to, you know, professionals like yourself and other companies to help us do that.
Love that. Love that. Any other questions?
What's one thing you stopped doing and started doing instead in 2020?
Yeah, great question. You know, we started our online consultations in 2018. We stopped asking people to come in person in 2020, obviously because of the pandemic. But we also stopped some of the more automated, like, email and drip campaign pieces. We felt like we were putting ourselves in the same boat with a lot of online lenders and or resources where, you know, I make the example, like, I bought a new car last year and I shopped around a little bit, and all of a sudden I had, you know, car ads hitting my email address every single day. I was like, look, I already bought the car. Like you don't even know that because you've never even talked to me. Yeah. So we stopped a lot of our automated, just kind of touch-based campaigns, and we got back to really being intentional about our phone work. You know, we check in with our buyers every 2 weeks on the phone. You know, our update calls throughout our process. Just, again, the human element of, you know, hey, we're here for you. You know, it's not just, you know, an online, you know, email that you're pinging that goes to a system that follows up with you. It's actually a person, and we want to make sure that you're feeling good and comfortable throughout that process.
That is an incredible point for those of you who are currently marketing, who are thinking about marketing. It's so incredibly important to remember that you're marketing, or that you should act like you're marketing to human beings, because guess what? You are. And so definitely have a human element and keep that in mind, that you are in fact marketing to human beings. Do you guys have any other questions?
I do. Who do you turn to for kind of like business guidance?
Yeah, you know, I've been fortunate in my past 10 years. I've leveraged a few different coaching communities and platforms. I work with a company called Southwestern Consulting. I can give a plug for them later, but they, unlike a lot of what I've found in the industry from a coaching perspective that's really tactic and strategy based, they are more mindset and leadership focused. And they do have some great sales tactics and, you know, modules that we leverage within our branch and with our sales force. But for myself, and for the last 3.5 years now, I've focused strictly at the executive leadership side of things, and how to make sure that, again, I say it often, but how I'm adding value. How can I be someone that when you leave a conversation with me, you feel like that was a quality conversation that moved you in the direction you wanted to go.
Wow, so much value. Well, on that note, you guys, we're going to take a short break, and we'll come right back. Stay tuned for more.